texting and WhatsApping and Facebook and letting your friends know that we're ready to start. Yeah. Well, as soon as we start, we'll close. And remember, this will be not live, but replayed on Aidoo Center, AUCC, which one again? Okay. So if you are doing any social networking, the hashtag is Aidoo Center. Hashtag Aidoo Center. Hashtag Tyranny of Niceness. Hashtag Tyranny of Hashtag Embassy of US Accra. Embassy of US Accra. And then hashtag Encounter. US Embassy, hashtag US Embassy Accra. Okay, so sorry, please just forget about all the things I said. Hashtag US Embassy Ghana. One word. Hashtag US Embassy Ghana. Hashtag Tyranny of Niceness. Hashtag Aidoo Center. Hashtag Encounter. Hashtag AUCC. Remember, the more hashtags you do, the more our message gets. There's one person in particular I need here before we start. Marcia. Is Marcia here? Okay. So she should be, she was going to pray. She should be at the moment. And then you meet the fine Miss Myra, who's going to talk to us. And she'll be introduced by Miss Myra, all three from the US Embassy. And next week, we'll be having a writing clinic. And Miss Myra will be here again to take 20 lucky intermediary writers on a 3-day, we agree on the day before you go. And two, and then I'll do the third one. But a 3-day writing clinic for intermediaries at Aidoo Center. Okay. Is there anyone here who can sing or speak spoken word or do something while we wait for Marcia to get here? Who wants to do that? Which one? Larry. Where's Larry? Okay. What did you want to do, sir? Say, what kind of song? So please, what are you going to do, sir? Okay, no problem. Larry says he will do it again next week. But our own young Cheeky is here. And before we start the show, I want to bust something original. So give it up for young Cheeky.
Okay. Yeah, I call this village to ghetto. It's a freestyle. Wow, freestyle. Okay. From the village to the ghetto, I want to join home. Mama pamade na papa so na kwan so. Menkasa brabo munye koso bi da kwan hu ni siko de beteduane bi po na so busia so. Ah, susu kan no ba. You for not say you go make am one day, wake up, you go make am. Abrabon ye by heart. Tina do ma fan wake up. Only be a one more casa by heart, so my party, you for wake up. You know go wake. Okay. Be a work girl be with you. Number we can now say, Joe, we just so that they are go. All the people who they motivate me for the street of Charlie Bravo. Now, pointing here, it is a major rap. I see, oh no, rap it me to menda. Share me one person me to menda. Hey, yeah, me put me to member. Share me for one power to member. Hey, me penny for me to member. And you me for two, now baby, I'm agenda. Me yampa go, or we subempa. My account and I will say rap and my fans run away from it. Listen, me and I'm a thing. Seven drop it like the same picture, let my vanity against if you run for your life. I will make my people proud. All I want my daddy to do is see me in future and say, that be my son. But I was a big school and I'm a rapper. Me king can book and I'm a banker. Me join the katanka and I'm a trata. Me go to see me pastor. Me go top and then I'm a doctor. Me join the attire and I'm a robber. The boys is visiting my memo of freestyle. What's he? Charlie boy no the talk, how come give me more, boy you more, when you go drop your track, and near my other body and me. So you guys should watch out. Now flow the message will put them walk home by American White House. Yeah, it's very good. Thank you very much.
Young Chicky just signed a deal. Can I announce that? Just signed a deal with Easy's label. So just give it up for him. Yeah. And I was privileged to be one of the few to actually go through the fine print. It's a pretty good deal for his first deal. So your chick going to blow up soon. Yeah. Okay, so Marcia here. Okay, we still have Marcia represents a group of Muslim persons. I think they're just praying, so they'll come in. So we just start anyway. I'm going to have to let Miss Rada do the introduction, but today is an encounter of no proportions because the lady here is incredible, well-traveled, well-read, well-experienced, and she's going to share her life with us through the critical thinking about what we do, who we are, how we respond, how we give messages, how we take them. And I'm talking to, I'll give it to Rita, and then Rita will take care of business.
Thank you. You've even done the introduction partially already. It was good. So I'll just continue from where Nana ended. We have with us Miss Myra. Miss Myra has been working with the U.S. Embassy for a very long time, and she's actually getting ready to retire sometime soon. She doesn't look it though. She covers the whole of the West African sub-region. So all the countries, including Ghana, is supervised by her. In the embassy, she is the regional public engagement specialist, and she advises us on what program, strategic programs that we can do, policy-oriented programs. So we are very privileged. She just returned from Benin, and I know that Nana has, he tried to communicate with her whilst she's in Benin, so that we can get her to be here today. And today, we are privileged to have her join us. Thank you. She's going to lead the discussion on critical thinking. And I think that I mentioned the topic, Tyranny of Niceness. This is a topic, she's very passionate about women issues. And I think for the time that she's been here, we've been running a series of programs on sexual and domestic violence, prevention of sexual and domestic violence. We've been doing this together with DOSU and some NGOs and CSOs. I don't know if any of you have attended that program before, but we've been doing it for over a year now. And it's been very good. It's been very, very good. Right from the senior high schools through the tertiary institutions. So we have with us Miss Myra. Miss Myra is going to lead the discussion with a round of applause. Let's welcome her. Thank you. I didn't add something, but Miss Myra is married to a Ghanaian. So if you want to retire, you are hoping that she come and visit.
Rita goes out of her way to embarrass me.
Sorry.
Good afternoon. Rita's right. I'm very passionate about women's issues because I'm female. And so what we're going to talk about today, the Tyranny of Niceness is a program that we developed together for Women's History Month last month in March. And I think that critical thinking applies because societies that don't allow women to thrive, those societies don't thrive. And it's no accident that the most successful countries in the world, primarily the Western European countries, the country that I was born in, those countries, women are fully participating. Women are educated, they drive, they have jobs, they have businesses, they have children, they don't have children, they get married, they don't get married. They have an array of choices. And that's part of the reason that those societies succeed. So today we're going to look at feminism, we're going to look at women's issues, and we're going to use that to find out if Ghana if West Africa is critically thinking about these issues in the 21st century. So we're going to start with, did it go?
It's coming up.
Okay, our projector. We have a video of Trevor. No, it's not. It's not. It's us. We wanted to have a video for you of Trevor Noah and Chimamanda talking. Okay, we have to have a couple of ground rules, guys, because I'm from the U.S. I was born in Washington, D.C., so this is a cross-cultural experience today. And so in the U.S., there's only one talker, so whoever has the mic is talking. So all the little cross conversations, if you all could please, okay, that's okay, keep that to a minimum. And we're waiting for the projector.
And please, if you could kindly put your phones on silence.
Well, we may not have a projector. So I have a question, because we don't have a projector, so we're going to keep going. The first question I have is for women. My question is, why is it that women are so supportive of culture, of tradition, when often culture and tradition works against us? So does anybody want to deal with that? Because as I travel around, I was in Benin last week, I was in Liberia 2 weeks before that. Women are they're the cheerleaders of the culture and of the tradition. So does anybody want to speak to that? Why women feel so strongly that it's our job? Oh, thank you. You know, can somebody pass this back to that young lady in the white? Thank you. Oh, that, okay, good. Why don't you stand?
Well, something small I want to say about what you said earlier about women being so strong about culture and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It is in Ghana, it is our traditional culture that it is the woman who is supposed to pass on tradition and culture to the young ones. So it's something we came to meet, and it's something our mothers taught us, and it's something we are also wanting to pass down to our children. So Ghanaian culture or tradition, it's just important that since we women are the parents of children, it's just fair that we transfer the culture and tradition on and on till it gets to.
Okay.
She gets a book.
She does. So anybody
The
else?
class
Does anybody else want to address any of the other ladies about why it is that women so uphold culture and tradition? Nobody? Because in your answer, Miss, in the back, in your white shirt, hi, you didn't discuss, you know, we're talking about critical thinking today. So you just pass it on, you don't think about it. If you have a daughter, what the impact is on her.
I'm sure if
Thank you.
we do, because most of the time the tradition, let me use mine for example, myself as an example. Traditions or cultures that I've learned from my mom are that of a good one. And if, you know, day in, day out, I meet people from different backgrounds with different cultures. And if I go out to meet someone with a different culture or tradition from what my mom has taught me, I think if it's wrong, she actually, you know, tries to correct me or something like that, put me on the right path. So I'm sure if women are to pass down tradition and culture, critically thinking, I think it's been thought after very well before they actually pass it down, be it right or wrong, whichever way.
But you realize what you're saying is that everything your mom taught you, you just accept. It's the other people who may be wrong. So you're not questioning what your mother taught you. That's my question for you.
In the Ghanaian society, we are taught that anything that you are being taught by an elderly person, you don't question.
My husband, okay, she mentioned my husband was born in Ghana, so all 29 million don't do that. Yeah, because some people do. Yeah, so don't speak for all Ghanaians, speak for yourself, sweetie.
The world is evolving. The world is evolving.
Okay.
Back then, when you're being taught, anything you're being taught by an elderly person, you don't question.
But
Because
sweetie, I keep interrupting. Suppose the elderly person is an alcoholic. Suppose the elderly person is known to have maybe some mental problems. Suppose the elderly person has not been able to figure out their life. You still have to listen to and accept everything that they say just because they have more candles on birthday cake than you? Is that what you're telling me?
no, that is what I'm saying. The
Okay.
world is evolving. Before, can I put something in tune? If I'm
Yeah,
permitted.
don't have to translate for me, that's fine.
It's said that the elders is always right. Even if you the younger one, you have, you're on the right path. The fact that he or she is an elderly person, you have no right to question whatever thing. And as I said before, the world is evolving. So now with different cultures coming in to our culture and tradition, you're actually learning that maybe sometimes the elderly person might not be right and you might be wrong. So then it is how you, the younger one, will have to project yourself for the elderly person to actually understand where you're coming from.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I was going to say that it's also a belief here that the woman's place is beside her husband. So it's her job to tell the children what the custom is. So it's not as though women are not given the opportunity, but we've psyched ourselves to believe that our role is to help our husband and then teach our children what the custom is. So we don't refuse, but we are how do I say it? We are conscientized to believe that our role is to support our husbands and teach our children how to behave in the next generation.
And so my question for you is, do you think that's okay? Okay, well then why don't you tell me what you think? I don't care what the culture thinks.
I believe a woman should have a voice of her own, should be able to speak when she has something to say. She shouldn't be afraid to stand up for herself, and I practice that.
Excellent, thank you.
That's for
Oh, yeah, vote for her, absolutely. Yes.
Happy going there, drop it off.
So any other ladies want to comment? Because this is what we have.
Actually, I don't disagree with all what they've said, but I was
Oh,
brought
wait a
up.
minute, we've had two different, so we've had what she said was different from the lady in the back.
Yes, she is right because our typical culture before religion stepped in, what they taught us was to obey the elderly. You are supposed to learn and imitate the elderly ones. But when religion came in, my religion tells me that I'm supposed to obey my parents, but when they are leading me the wrong path, I'm supposed to stand on my feet and say, no, I'm not coming with you. So in this society today, I always urge every woman I meet to be strong because I've gone through a lot and I've learned. And I've learned to speak, I've learned to be heard, and I've learned to actually work and act for myself.
Thank you. So, yeah, you get a book. So, any more ladies before we go to the video? Any other ladies? Oh, okay. Well, you're not a lady, but you can comment.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's my man.
Yeah, please. I want to see that women are very unique and very special. That I want to say that women are very unique and very special when it comes to passing on culture from one way to the other. Because anytime you give a woman something, she tries to make good use of it and then multiply it. Example, you give a woman a sperm and she produces a baby with it. And then, That is the good thing I think.
I am not sure, my friend, if that's worthy of a book, but thank you. Anybody else? We have any more ladies that want to comment on this? Because it's specific to the female before we go to the video. Okay, well, we're going to have these are two Africans talking about feminism and the role of women in the 21st century. Trevor Noah and Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi. So, go ahead, read it. No, the arrow, go up, go up, go up, go up. No. You see that arrow on the left? No. I got it. You got it.
My guest tonight is a critically acclaimed author from Nigeria whose most recent best-selling book is called Dear Ijiawele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. Please welcome Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here because I've been a fan of your work for a long time. I've been a fan of your words for a long time. I have to ask you before we get into the book, as a person who is considered as one of the most foremost feminists of our time, why is it that so many people see the word feminist as a negative thing?
Because I think that feminism has long been associated with the most extreme versions of it. So people think a feminist is sort of a crazy woman who hates men and doesn't shave, and right? And so all of these sort of really crazy negative stereotypes that have been attached to feminism, and so people don't want to associate with it. Right? There are people who said to me, "Why do you call yourself feminist? Why don't you just say you're a humanist or an equalist?" But that is what feminism is.
Right.
Feminism is about justice for everyone, but you have to name the problem. And the problem is it's women who've been excluded, so we need to call it what it is.
Wow, that's fascinating because that's in many ways that's the same thing people say about Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
They go, why don't you say all lives matter?
Yes.
Like, well, we know the rest of the lives matter. The problem needs to be
Exactly.
addressed.
Yes. Yes.
The book that you have written here is really different from your other offerings. It's a feminist manifesto in 15 suggestions. And I like that you keep making it easier and easier and easier for people to be feminists. This is a really interesting book. How did this book come about?
So a few years ago, my friend had a baby, and so she said to me, "I want her to be feminist, I want her life to be better than mine. What should I do?" I was like, "I don't know." And then I thought I should write her a letter. Right? It was an email that I wrote to her. And then I decided to turn it into a book, and I made a few changes, but really, it was for my friend. And only after I had a baby, my daughter is 2.5, did I realize how easy it is to sort of tell people what to do about child raising when you don't have a child.
Right.
It's much easier to deal with a hypothetical child than a real child. But I'm still trying to follow all of the suggestions. It's just that it's more difficult than you would think.
What would you say is the most difficult part of teaching a child or raising a child to be a feminist?
It's not that it's easy to do, but it's that you have to fight against. It sort of feels like the universe has a conspiracy against you. So you tell your child, you don't have to play with dolls, but then you go to the store and the girls' sections are just dolls.
Right.
And there's still very much that blue and pink binary in the wall, and you're trying to teach your child that you can be whoever you want to be. So it can feel as though there's a lot that you need to push back, from the world. But it's doable. I'm very optimistic about how we can change the world.
What I've always admired about your words on feminism is that you don't seem to live in a world where it's abstract or it's just extreme. Like it never seems to me like you talk about feminism like it's like this is how it is and that is the way it is. Like in the book, for instance, there are some suggestions where you talk about how you can encourage your daughter, if she's a daughter, to be anything she wants to be, to like blue, to play with boys' toys, etc. But that shouldn't mean that she should shun her femininity. That's not what feminism is. So when people find themselves caught up in a conundrum with feminism, like what is the one thing they could say to themselves that just makes it easier to understand?
Think of yourself as an individual. Right? There's no, I mean, I think feminism and femininity are not mutually exclusive, right? I think that the early feminists in the West shunned femininity because femininity had for so long been used as a way to put them down. So women were property, you're supposed to look pretty and stay at home. So I think when women started to push back against that, they were like, we don't want pretty. But I think now we've come to a stage where we can accept that people can be many things, right? You can be feminine and feminist. It depends on whether you want to be. The problem is if somebody is pushing you to be what you don't want to be, then that's not feminism.
Right.
So I usually say to women who are thinking about it, just think of your individual self. Like, what do you like? And is that thing causing you harm? Right? Is it somehow, is it reducing your spirit? Is it making you resentful? Because I think that when there's real equality, resentment will not exist. Right? In relationships where people are unhappy because there's a gender problem, there's resentment. If there isn't a problem, you don't have resentment. You kind of know, it's intuitive, I think.
Right. Would you say that it's still possible for a woman? I mean, I know my mom always says this to me, but some people struggle with the concept. Would you say it's possible for a woman to say, I'm a feminist, I believe in equality, but I still want a man to open the door for me? I like that gesture, or is that problematic in of itself?
You know, the thing about, by the way, your mother is wonderful. Just for reading your book, you're so fortunate to have been raised by her. Friend, I'm serious. I think everything good in you is because your mother raised you.
You know what's funny is, I appreciate that, but and the way you said it is, it's a beautiful compliment that sounds like an insult. You know, it's just like, you're your dad. But yeah, but thank you. But
you all can get that on YouTube. So what did you think? Any thoughts on their conversation, what you saw? You saw most of it. I mean, oh yes.
I agree with what the lady said.
Chimamanda.
To be a feminist doesn't mean you have to shun your feminism. The fact that you like dressing up like a woman, putting on makeup, looking nice, doesn't make you weaker than a man. The fact that you like looking pretty shouldn't mean that you are less intelligent than a man. So yes, femininity shouldn't shun you being.
So is that a problem here? You know, if you're a girly girl?
When you are a girly girl, now it's no longer a problem per se. But when you are a girly girl, they just expect you to behave like a girl. Which is a problem. I don't understand the statement, you are a girl, behave like one. What makes you a girl and what makes him a man? Is it your behavior or is it your attitude? I want to understand. I am me, a person, not a woman, and therefore my attitude shouldn't be woman. And no, I am a person, so whether woman or man, I have a personality. Let me express it. That's what I am about.
Well, and the next thing is, what does he know about being female? So how can he define it?
Exactly.
Since he has a penis. So I'm assuming that he, you know, unless he's had some surgery or something back there.
I understand feminism as being an individual.
Okay, y'all gonna have to be quiet because we don't have electricity in the mic anymore. Okay, dear.
Being a feminist is having an individual mind. Somewhere in this part of our world, being a feminist, with some few people I know, is not accepting a man as he is. Let's say when you're married, every woman is expected to be submissive. In the Bible, it is said that the man is the head. But down here, when you talk about feminism, it means that I am me. I'm an individual. I like being independent, which is very right. Like it's very normal for everybody. I would say I like being independent myself. But being a feminist shouldn't make you disrespect the man. How should I put it? The manly figure in your life. Because if you tell me I'm a feminist, in like you don't even respect the man in like someone close to you as a man. Whatever the man says, his ideas, you don't take it. But what you want is what it's supposed to be. If that's how I'm supposed to understand what this feminism is all about. But from what she is coming from, she thinks that feminism, you have to be an individual, think for yourself,
love everything about yourself. Even if a man comes your way, you should have a firm grounds that you're a man, I'm a woman. If I'm wrong, you can correct me.
If a man comes your way, you're still a woman and he's a man.
Of course, but he's your head.
Excuse me?
He's your head.
He's your head. He's
Yes.
not my head. Everybody doesn't think that way. He's your head. So please don't speak for everybody in the room. If you choose to live like that, that's your business. My understanding of feminism, because I'm older, I'm probably the oldest person in the room, is that women had a choice.
Yes.
You know, because I remember the feminists when I was a very little girl in the 60s. So that meant you could get married or not get married. You could have children or not have children. You could work or not work. But the idea of, you know, you rolled over into something that I hope whoever invented this idea of the man as head gender roles, I hope when they died, I hope they died terribly. I hope they suffered because they have ruined the world with that stupidity and we don't need it. Men,
The Bible makes it clear that
we're not, this is not a church, okay? So you take that somewhere else. You take that somewhere else. In the first place, you're assuming that everybody in here is Christian because Nana told me that there are also Muslims in here, so can you not go there? Can we have a conversation at a university without talking about the Bible? You need to have that somewhere else. All right. Hey, do you have something to add? Because you were very loud. So do you have something to add? Then you need to not talk so loud. So any other comments about the video? Yes.
So according to what I saw or heard some feminists I have come across, they seem to be man-haters. That is the ideology they go with. Lots of them I have come across. But according to
What next to haters did?
they hate men.
They said they hate men.
They don't want men to interfere in what about them.
So how does that go from they don't want men to interfere to hating them?
I have
Those are
two
two different
people-
concepts.
I have two people who have boldly said that they don't like men. They hate
That's-
men, men's ideology.
That's still not hating men. Ideology, he's a man. Ideology is an ideology. So they don't necessarily, critical thinking means you speak clearly. So I know I'm giving you a hard time, but I want you to speak clearly. Okay, so go ahead.
So they made us understand that they can't take decisions on that without consulting.
So let me ask you this. So in your mind, a woman who says she can take decisions on her own, she hates men? Okay, I want to understand that.
I'm using the word one of them is.
Okay, all right.
But
But not all of them.
I know. That's what I'm saying, some of them.
All right.
But according to Chimamanda, a feminist is supposed to be a humanist, an equalist, somebody who is for everyone and not against a particular gender.
You didn't hear what Chimamanda said, because do you remember early when she said we need to use the word feminist because we need to identify the problem and that women are, did you hear her say that part too? Okay.
But
So
I'm making an emphasis on what she said.
you're making an emphasis on what you wanted to hear, and you're ignoring some of what she said.
No,
Because I've watched this about 10 times, girlfriend, so you're going to have a hard time getting it behind
the
it.
entire video.
Okay.
Okay. That she made.
Okay.
So this video is making me or enlightening me on who a feminist is supposed to be and not the others we see on social media or we meet in our daily lives.
There's not no, you know, I'm a super feminist. There's nothing about what you're supposed to be. I'm also married and I like lipstick and I love jewelry, as you can see. So there's no supposed to be. All the feminist means is that I feel I should be treated. The power is out. One of my slides says, feminism is the radical idea that women are human beings. That's what I think. So, you know, and you women who don't like feminists don't understand who wins when women don't like or trust other women or feminists. Men win. And patriarchy wins. which means our lives, the quality of our lives as women don't change. So you see these women as man-hating, they don't necessarily hate men, but they think about things a little differently than you. Don't you think Ghana could use a spectrum of thought that all women shouldn't think one way? I mean, what do you think about that? Do all women need to think like you? Or is it okay that some women think differently? Okay, all right, all right. So men, oh yes, my friend. Yes, my friend.
Just to add to what my colleague said.
Okay.
I think I'm getting here from an angle because now Ghana.
Take this book. You listen first. Before you get that one, you need to read that one. I gave you Come to the next talk. You get the other one.
So just to add up to what she said, there are some section of women in Ghana who have made feminism look like man-hater or man-haters. I'm just trying from an angle that she's coming from.
How have they made it? Be specific. Use your words. How have they made it look like man-hating?
They don't need a man.
Why is that man-hating?
I'm building on something.
All right.
So the reason why she is saying that is because of what some women in this country have made feminism look like. They hate men because they think this world is a man-domineering world. So then,
have they made it look that way, or is that what you have decided about how they live?
I see feminism as someone or a woman who is strong-minded, someone who has an opinion of her own, someone who is not belittled by any other person, talkless of a man.
So what's wrong with
that is how I see feminism.
So what's wrong with that?
But they have seen feminism as, okay, so what a man can do, a woman can do better. So I don't need a man to even lift this thing for me. And that is what they are portraying to the outside world. So that is why she is saying that some of them they've made feminism look like a man-hater. But feminism is not like that. It's a woman who is strong-minded, who can actually, compete with a man for in certain positions, a role or anything. That is what we know feminism to be about. But certain people, like the Pepper Them Guns, they've made it. There's a group of women in Ghana called Pepper Them Gun.
Okay.
They are the ones portraying feminism as a man-hater. Because we know feminism as empowering women to stand on their feet. Not like the normal Ghanaian or everyday woman that we know. A woman is supposed to be submissive, a woman's duties in the kitchen, childbearing. No, women can be president. Women can hold offices, men can equally hold. That is what we know feminism to be. But some specific group of people made feminism look like a man-hater. Okay, so I don't need a man. Even if a man offers to pay something, oh no, I don't need. But it's just maybe the man being courteous or trying to be nice, not just being.
Okay.
So just to count on what she's saying.
Okay, you're nodding your head. So what you got to say about this? Because you previously nodded your head, my friend.
I will try an example because I'm married.
Okay.
And I have a strong woman.
Okay.
During 14. During 14.
During 14. Okay.
There were instances where I felt I could over her. But I could have power over her.
Oh.
Yeah, there are instances. But just to get to know the kind of woman I want to live with, I want to end up with. But she made me take it from a different angle, and she rightly explained. There are certain decisions that I fear taking, but she made me understand that even if I'm not going to take it, she's boldly going to take it. So I had different thoughts of it and made me who I am now.
Okay.
So I believe in feminism. I believe in feminism strongly because if you don't have a woman who is strong, there's no way you're going to fix that. That's how I believe.
You definitely get a book.
So I want to ask you a question. What do you believe? What do you believe? As an idiot, you know, this is purely an academic discourse, and we are supposed to be discussing this issue as people at the tertiary level. We don't want the group you're talking about, we don't know them. And we don't want them, whatever they are saying or to influence anybody here. Because we are all at a level that we can think this is supposed to help us think critically about issues. When you go back, I told you earlier on that we are running a program that is empowering women, make the world better. This is a series we are running so that women can also be independent. You know, they will be able to be strong. So you as an individual, you are a woman. What do you think about this? That is what we are talking about. We are not going to, we don't want to conjure an abstract group and start discussing the group. We don't have time to be discussing groups.
And not only that, Ghana has 29 million people. So what if they see things that way? Don't they have the right to that?
Maybe 10 people in the group.
Yeah, so don't they have the right to that?
So let's leave them out and then do a proper discuss, like an academic discuss, please.
There's a gentleman in the back who anxiously wants to say something.
My name is Al-Hassan bin Basir.
Thank you.
As a Muslim, I believe empowering women is very important. Even from the Holy Quran, it says that when any woman wrongs her husband, he shouldn't even beat her. Not to talk of any...
Excuse me, sir, I'm terribly sorry. There was a lady, she left, who brought up the Bible. Can we keep all religious books out of this?
I'm making reference, Madam Michele, I'm making a reference. I'll come on our feminism.
But your reference is to a holy book.
Okay, let's go. I would like to know, because we are here to, empower women or feminism. You know, women, as I know, from the start of this universe, I would like to know what is the institution that empower women and how does it also empower men? Because I know from the onset, it is men that used to lead all affairs in this world, and women are their helpers. So women, if they say, as I heard one of my colleagues, they mentioned that what a man can do, women can do it better. Sometimes when we bring this parity, it sometimes brings it's a little bit problematic. So we have to get this straight. Men, they are very strong. Women are also very strong in their own way. You cannot compare these two things. So if we get this, it will help us. But if we say what man can do, women can do it better, at the end of the day, a woman will just think that what is in her is also in that man. But I want to make it clear what is in men is stronger than what is in women.
Yeah. Again,
what word you the potential. Okay, let me make it clear to you. Man, the composition of man is different from that of a woman. Yes, in terms of thought, strength, and all that.
No. Not in terms of thought. Quiet! Quiet! We have one person talking at a time. This is a good discussion we're having. Can you come up? Because you're all the way in the back. This is a good discussion about gender roles. Patriarchy, I looked it up last night to make sure. Quiet! I looked up patriarchy last night. According to the research I did, patriarchy has been around about 6,000 years. About the same length of time as your holy books, both of them. 6,000 years ago, yeah, you needed brute strength to do things. We live in the 21st century now. We use our minds. We're not using brute strength anymore. So yes, men tend to be larger than women and stronger than women physically, but that is not what is required in today's world. What's required in today's world is critical thinking, the ability to analyze, the ability to process information, the ability to use technology. That does not depend on your muscles. That depends on your brain. You can be weak. Those guys in Silicon Valley are not muscular, but they're smart and they're rich. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He looks like you could blow him over with this, but he has $13 billion and he runs Facebook. So you're wrong. You're talking about a 6,000 year. I just gave you a 6,000 year history and you gave me nothing. I just gave you all kind of examples, analysis, critical thinking, processing information. And that wasn't an example.
That women has more than men?
No, I said.
My stand is men are far off than women in terms of thought, in terms of everything. Now, women should also
thank you.
Why is it that when they say a man is strong, he's just strong? But when a woman is strong, she is strong in her own way.
I know.
Why can't she just be strong? You may be strong physically, I may be strong mentally, but I'm strong and you are strong. Why is it that when you say a man is strong, he is strong? But a woman has to be strong in her own way. Why the difference? That is what we are trying to understand. I am human just as you are, so I should be as strong as you are. Perhaps I don't have this, but not every man has good things.
And take a look. You want to say something? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm making just one thought. This is an intellectual discourse, right?
I beg your pardon?
I said this is an intellectual discourse we have.
Yeah.
Very good.
Is there some confusion about that?
No, I'm making a point. I'm making a point. Just a preamble to what I'm about to say.
Really?
Yes.
Can you make your point today?
Yes. I'm coming. I'm coming. All right. So let us put the issues in perspective. If you want to put all together and wrap like men, women, it's just like comparing apples with mangoes. It will not. You see, the problem we have is if we are doing the comparison, then we should be talking about equity, not equality, because in any sense, a woman can never be like a man. Yes. So let us, if we are discussing this, then let's look at it from equity point of view. What equality is out. That's why I said we need to put the issues in perspective. If we don't, they want to put all together and say men and women are, it will not fly. Thank you.
Another thing, we are clearly identified that we have men, we have women. Talking of the equality, whatever you're looking at, we are at the base level, we are all human beings. You can't tell me because I'm a man, I'm better than her. She's a human being as I am. She has a brain, I have a brain. She can think, I can think. So where's the difference? Why should we treat her differently from the way you treat her? And she was building a point. The basis, the world was set up in a way that it favors men. History was written mostly by men. And whoever writes determines how the story is told.
Exactly.
You get it? So we have our own sentiments as human beings. We've also been indoctrinated by certain things. But now that we have all this information, do an introspection. This is what I need. This is what I come to know. Is it balanced? Is it fair? Then come out and be frank with yourself. When you look at it, women have been treated badly in almost every sphere of society. And now we are saying we are equals. Let's respect them for who they are. Not necessarily, I see you, okay, there is a position available, I give it to you because you're a man. And I favor a man over a woman. Why don't you look at it from the point of view, who is more qualified, who can do it? At the end of the day, we want results. If it's a woman giving me results, or it's a woman, if it's a man, and credit them as human beings, not a woman. We read headlines, a woman does this. Like women are incapable of doing that. Why not state her name? Mary did this. Rather than bringing her gender into it. Then what are you saying? Because she's a woman, she was not expected.
She's a special woman.
She's special. You get it? We are all human beings. That's the basic level. So we treat each other as human beings. And that is the agenda. That is what I believe we are discussing today.
And wait a minute, I want to go to your equality point. It is about equality because a man with the exact same education with me and the exact same or less experience will make his money by December. I have to work to April to make the same money as him. So you can bite me because if men are making more money than me with the same education, the same experience, it is about equality. Because why is that the case except as Andrew said, men set the table and they set the rules. So again, you're a man and you're going to tell us as women how we have to look at this. Who are you to tell us how to frame it? Who are you to tell us from our experience? What do you know about it? So you had a point.
I just want to also make a contribution. As my brother is saying that we are all humans. Fine, it's true we are all humans, but there's a difference. Because you can't just say that, as my other colleague was saying, that we are made up of different compositions. Okay? We have a male and a female. We have male and female, and we are humans. But there's a difference. The difference is that there's a male and there's a female.
Okay. We established that. Please. We're not talking about another species in here, so what's the point?
No, I'm just making a clarification about what he said. That we are humans. So why cannot we just say like if a woman does something, you just write the person's name? No. We are humans, fine, because we are humans, right? But we are different. But let me come to the equality and the feminism issue. I really don't get what we are actually discussing, because for me, I have different perspective about it. First of all, I have an angle that a human force, like a kind of a force, which is being, mounted against male.
Seriously?
Like, because... Wait,
quiet, I'll let you come right back. Men have been at the head of the table for 6,000 years of human history. So somehow we're being cheeky because we want a little equality after 6 millennia?
I don't know how you get that, like, fine. The fact is that
by the histories that you wrote.
History teaches us that. Male actually dominated the world. You understand? History.
And look at this state.
That's where the angle you're coming from. The story but for me, I think that my point is that this discussion actually should, if it should be like empowering women to be strong so they can stand behind men.
Stop talking.
Please.
Is that the woman behind the man? Where that is?
Because when you are falling, don't fall on the side. But when you're behind, you can hold the person easy.
Quiet. My girlfriend here has the floor.
Okay, so one is that I can go to the same school with a guy.
Exactly.
And then have maybe a first class.
Get better grades.
Yeah, and he doesn't. And then we go for a job interview, or I get that person an appointment with the government, like a bit, and then they tell me I slept my way there. I slept with men to get there. But the man, what did he do to get there? So can't a woman be strong and achieve things on her own? I have two big brothers. I'm the youngest, but I actually not even saying it, but I take care of the house. What is wrong with that? Why would you think that because I'm a woman I cannot do something? And then when you say, they'll tell you, oh, you are that kind of woman, you know your rights. That's the code that I know my rights kind of woman. And you people, you end up not getting married.
But you know what he's saying? He knows that you're too good for him.
Exactly.
And don't marry him. Don't marry him. He's already told you he's in it.
I've dealt with this issue before. And then sometimes maybe go on dates and then I'll be like, I don't mind paying if I have to. If you don't mind, I can say, let's go out for a date. And I can pay. What's wrong with that? But she wants everything to be like, oh, you have to be eating from their hand. And if you don't, you are arrogant.
And you know that because when you pay for yourself, you're under no obligation. You can tell them good night and go on your way. Exactly. You for the evening. Good girl. She deserves a girl. Yeah. Okay. All right. Are we gonna have to come get you? Or might have to tell you to stop talking? Oh, that's right. We need books.
I sincerely feel that this is not a discussion, but an agenda to push an idea onto a group of people. That is how I see this whole thing.
An agenda to push.
We should be looking at coming to I think that is what this whole discussion should be about, and not necessarily pushing feminism, as it were, on people. I think
Okay, wait a minute. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. How is it? Who made you come? Who's holding the gun on you? This is an intellectual discussion.
So I have been here. I made my way here to contribute to a discussion. And then when I get up to speak and I'm told to sit down, then I feel that there is no need for us to have this discussion.
What did you say? You insulted us, and you said you did what? I'm exact. You stood up and said that an agenda was being pushed, and you don't understand it. That's why I told you it is an insult. It's like we're not having it's very disrespectful. We're not having a discussion because you don't like what we're talking about.
It is equally disrespectful if someone starts to speak and the person is asked to shut up or sit down.
Oh, well, that's too bad. So we're equally insulted, and you'll get over it or not.
Hello. I actually want to make a contribution on this. I think we should put aside the sentiment, emotional sentiment. Let's not be emotional about the topic. This is simply feminism. We are not talking about the physical appearance of who a man is or who a woman is. The patriarchal way of our upbringing and our cultural setting makes the man an authority in the family and the woman a submissive, you understand? And then religion, as in Christianity, also presents it. I want to make a point.
Secular discussion.
Yeah. I want to. And we are very traditional as Africans.
Okay, stop right there. This is Ghana. Be specific.
Okay.
Africa is 54 countries.
Okay, so I'm from a Niceness and also have a grand blood.
Okay.
And in our culture, the man is an authority figure and the woman becomes a supporting figure. So in such a discussion, I think we must gauge and then go in such a way that when we are having the discussion, people will not feel they are being forced to understand something. What I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing power play. The men are feeling that the women are trying to be over powerful, and the women are also feeling too
Did you see the film with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford, The Fugitive? You should have.
No.
You should have. Why is it about the men's feelings? Why can't we have this conversation and men's fragile
If you don't allow me to make my point, you wouldn't hear me.
You just said that. I'm just quoting back
What
what
I'm
you
saying is
just
that
said.
what I'm saying is that both sexes, or let's say both the male and the female, instead of understanding the concept of feminism, that it will help us, because I believe personally that if a woman gets equal opportunities like men, then the world will move faster. Because if the world has women as majority of its population, imagine the opportunities men have, women have same. It means that development and productivity will move with speed. You understand? That is what I believe in. But sometimes when the dialogue is going on, the sentiment, the emotional sentiment kills the idea. And people feel that they take it personal. They become emotional and they think that you are trying to push something on them because they have been brought up all their lives to believe something.
That's not our problem. This is an intellectual discussion. I don't have a gun. I don't have an army. You can believe what you believe. I'm not responsible for what adults feel. So we need to wear our big pants, our grown-up pants, and act like adults. If people feel that way, as Tommy Lee Jones said in The Fugitive, I don't care, because we're having a discussion here. And you're not going to make us, the females, responsible for the poor male fragile ego. That is not our job. All right, keep it up for a while.
I want to make a contribution. And I'll be specific. I'm a Ghanaian, so I'm in Ghana. So what I want to add is Ghana. For what I know, we are not used to change. We find it very hard to adapt.
Really? Because you don't have slavery anymore. You're not those castles are just revisited. So clearly there's some changes and you change presidents all the time.
And I'm saying, in as much as we actually change.
So there are some changes. There are some changes.
And I'm saying we are not used to change. Even individually, some of us can't really take to change. What I'm trying to say is,
you're not being specific.
Okay, so let me just state out my point. What I'm trying to say is, feminism is a different thing altogether. We should try to preach that feminism is not about fighting with men. It's about telling them that it's about time we are given equal rights or whatever thing that is going on. That we can equally take positions, as I stated before earlier. We can equally march on with them, like not march on as in fighting, as in fighting, but you take a step, we take it together. No, you taking it before I do. Not me falling down and you coming to help me. Yes, that is it, but we are taking it together. I'm equally strong as you are, not physically, but mentally, intellectually. We need people, one feminist who I know, Gifty Auntie, is really pushing the feminists forward with empowering women. I said, okay, so this is a world we are in that women need to get up. Our place is not in the kitchen anymore. Our places are the CEOs, the COOs, and all that. We can equally do. So I think we should actually project the word feminism as not fighting with men and making them feel like
that is what it has been made on social media. The idea.
But actually fighting hand in hand in this world, that because the world is evolving, as I said earlier on, and it's not everything that a man is okay. Let me go and you follow. No, we are in a world where we can all march forward. If you want to get something done, we get it done together. Not the man, not the woman, but together. That is what I think feminists should be all about. Not
but you don't get, again, you have made 4 statements. And again, there are 29 million people. You don't get to decide for the other women of this country. It's fine if that's your view. But other women get to view this their way. You keep trying to impose the way you want feminism to look. You are.
I think if you're trying to
you've been consistent.
You're telling me that feminism is about me not fight. You don't expect me to fight with a man because of something. Feminism is about fighting hand in hand to protect something or to work together.
Can I think we watched the video just now. What did you think about the video? Maybe we'll
I'm sure when she was talking to Trevor, I'm sure she wasn't just like, okay, so Trevor, when you were sitting, I can do it better than you are. No. But she was actually, I'm sure she's actually projecting feminism to Trevor as, okay, so now women can actually do what Trevor is doing.
But all I'm saying is you get to decide how you want to do it, dear. But other people do too. You keep trying to oppose a narrow view. All right, you.
I want to add this remark. I think that I'm a blogger. I spend let's say 60% of my day on the internet, either writing something or reading something. And there's a trend on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook, and you find a group of women projecting the feminism agenda. I don't want to use agenda or whatever, but I want to say that you find a group of women trying to preach equality or equity in the wrong way. I can just go on and pull certain threads for you to read, and you realize that they may not be doing it the way you are doing it. So for a long time, men are refusing to accept. That is what I am saying. There is a barrier.
What you are saying, the men here.
On social media, you said you just made mention of social media.
It's a large space.
It's a group with an opinion. There are also groups with different opinions. Why do you want to focus on the opinions you think are not right,
Possibly.
rather than focusing on the subject?
Possibly there are
What I'm
people
saying
here
is
who have interviewed
that I'm making a point. The point I am making is that I know I choose the opinions I want to choose. I believe in what I want to believe in. I don't believe that women should be behind. I believe we should be apart and work together. But what I'm saying is that
do you read their
other men,
tweets? You read their tweets?
I read those tweets.
Does it influence you?
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it influences me in a way. Sometimes it's the responses. You know, sometimes there's a banter and there's a long thread. You have to read and follow. There are people making very valid points who some men don't understand. They don't get it from that point of view. What they understand is that this woman is trying to be too powerful. This woman is trying to override me. But maybe this woman is making a valid point of progress. I want to be given the opportunity to be a doctor, a surgeon. I want to be the next president of Ghana. But in that particular setting, it is not allowed because of how we have been brought up. Along, things have, the status quo. So what I'm saying is that there should be a better channel that gives room for everybody to understand, like here, the discourse we are having. If we put away the sentiment and the fact that people are thinking that, this woman is trying to be better than me, or this, if we put those things aside, then we can understand the subject better. But if we will allow for people to banter and go back and forth, we lose the value or the idea, the essence of the discussion. That is the point I want to make.
But I also want to say, in coming for a discussion like this, what is your mindset? You need to be open-minded to have certain discussion. If you are stuck in your ways, you should discuss it. That's why initially I said, we've been brought up with a certain notion. Now I've had my own experience. My father shared his experiences with me. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Why? He had his reasons. I did the same thing, and I was saying to my daughter, do this, do this, do that. Because my experience of that is exciting from that of my father. So he has his opinion. He gave that to me. I believed it for a while. I've experienced different things. I've formed my opinion. The world has evolved. It has also given me an opinion. I put all this together and I draw my conclusions so that it is based on what I have come to acquire. Someone is saying we are forcing an agenda. We are not forcing an agenda. It's a notion we have put out there. Yours is okay. Maybe there is some truth in what we are saying. Let me sit back and reflect. Based on that reflection, you can draw conclusions. As the world referred to women, no. As the world consider women as equivalent to men, no. When you start looking at the argument from that line, you clearly see that there is a gap that needs to be closed. It will make you more open to discussions on empowering women. But if women are trying to take over the world, you block your thoughts.
Then it means that you are coming back to my notion.
How would you?
I think SDGs go 5 gives.
How would you? Let me ask you a question. How would you treat your girl child and your boy child?
I'll treat them the same. The girl child is not supposed. The boy child is not supposed to wake up from bed for the girl child to make the bed. The boy child is not supposed to eat in a plate, for the girl child to wash it. There are so many examples I can give, but at the end of the day, it is the channels I'm going to use to raise the girl as I'm raising the boy. And
So you are going to empower
both of them, so that the girl doesn't feel that she cannot be strong without the brother. You know, when we were growing up, your mom will tell you, Junior, you are the male, you must always protect your sister. It is fine, but what I'm saying is that my sister should be strong enough to stand for herself, to not wait to speak when I'm not around.
That is impossible. What is the agenda of that?
If the channels of communication are not well strategized, it gives people room to talk negative words, and that is what kills the banter, and it kills the discourse. That is why I stood up. I have followed. I'm a development communication student, and my topic is on women. I'm taking SDG Go 5 as my women. I'm looking at women in the media, how many opportunities they are given, the hierarchy, the job hierarchy, the positions women are allowed to occupy. That is what I am working on. If I don't believe in feminism, I will not. But you meet people, let me make this point.
You use the word allow, which means that you're out. Because how do you choose what they're allowed to occupy? So you're done. When you say something like that, you're done. Because that is the ultimate in patriarchal terms. You're done.
But the truth is that is what is happening.
So you're not a feminist. So everything you said is not true. Because you're as long as I allow them.
No.
We're not. Go ahead.
My belief is
quiet. She's talking.
I have a simple belief. If you stop looking at it that she's a man, she's a woman, and just look at her, she's a human being. He's a human being, and therefore how I should be treated.
That's a ridiculous statement. Are you not a woman?
Oh, I am a woman. What I'm saying is simple.
No. So you're going to take away your gender. We're going to pretend like we don't have gender. That's not
what
work.
I'm saying. I'm saying that the very first step to understanding everything is remembering that she's also human the same way you are human.
Okay.
And then looking at her from the perspective that she wants to be treated the same way you want to be treated. And if you can look at it from that angle, there is no way you would look at her as trying to take over from you, trying to steal your mojo.
Do you honestly think that men look at us about this way?
Do
you honestly think that? Do you honestly think that? I'm asking. Do you honestly think that? Because I don't think men don't think that we're human. I just think men like having power because they always have. It's not about us not being human. That's not the issue. So yes.
Actually, I believe that we are here for a purpose, and that is to discuss feminism. And one important thing is we all are from different backgrounds. We have different teachings. And as adults, we should be ready to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Because it's not everything they teach you before that is the right thing. So when you open yourself up to other cultures, you should be able to listen to another person's perspective. Try to put yourself through, analyze it, and build your point. When we do all this, we stop all these arguments and focus on the topic at hand.
Thank you. We need to have these kind of discussions and arguments to get to the other side. Men are not just going to give up power. Nobody gives up power. There has to be a push. There has to be you talked a lot. Oh Lord, all right. Mr. Equity.
Yes, definitely. I still stand by it. I still stand by it. You see, the problem is, in principle, they are all saying the same.
Oh no, we're not. Yes. Oh no, we're not.
I'm trying to make a point.
No, not well.
I am not disputing what you're saying, but I'm saying that from the perspective at which we are looking at the issue, men will resist it with all their strength. One, being a feminist doesn't necessarily mean you must work with a man. Number two, I grew up with about 4 beautiful ladies. They never rock shoulders with we the guys, but they're empowered. So the point is, can't a woman be empowered without she thinking that the man should bring the man down or bring the man to a particular point?
Who said we should bring the man down?
Who
said that? No. You're being specific. Who said we should bring men down?
What I just said was a question. I said, can't. Why? It's a question. That was that. Why must the woman think that I need to come to the top of a man before I am empowered? My sisters are well empowered, but they don't go on what they say. No.
You know what? After what he said, if you look at it that way, you are trying. It will sound as the men are superior than the women, and for that reason, we are trying to be like them. But if we all have the mindset that we are superior as our own selves, and then develop what is within us, we can be as great as we think we are. If I look at the man and I think that he's greater than me, then I'm going to feel superior of myself, and I'm not going to look within me and what I have. My point of feminism is that we look at woman and man having equality to things that are necessary to developing yourself and developing society. Like, for instance, having equality to same education, so that I get educated the same way you get educated.
Like we are doing right now.
Exactly. You understand? Like he's here, I'm here, the same class, and we talking, discussing, sharing ideas. Because I have ideas, he has his. We bring it together and variety the things. It's a spice of life.
But he's not letting you talk, and you let him talk.
No, he was
supported silently. Shut up. Let her talk.
I really don't want as ladies to think that the man is greater and we are lesser, or we are greater and the man is lesser. No, it's not supposed to be so. We are all great in our own ways.
Wait a minute, time out, everybody. No one, and certainly not me, and I know there's a young man who says this, nobody has said women are better than men. Nobody said that we want to displace men. Nobody said we want to kill men. Nobody said we want to abduct them to Mars. All we said is that women should have equality and should have rights. What many men hear when we say that is that, did you get one? And so, that's the thing, like a lot of these men, anytime women express empowerment, they view it as a threat. But nobody here wants to displace men.
To act more, the only thing that will make men feel that women are overshadowing them is the method that we use.
No,
they are approaches. No, if
I have a question for you before you get going with this.
Okay.
Why is it your job to explain how men feel?
Why is it my job?
Men have been in charge for 6,000 years, and so they need you as well to explain one position. So you now a spokesperson and men?
It's not about being a spokesperson. You said it first, and I'm countering you. You said men feel that.
I'm quoting these men in this room. I'm quoting them.
What about if they're saying that is not what they mean? Because you said you are quoting them. Who is she quoting then? I want to know who is she
All
quoting.
of them.
So
No,
they
your good friend. Your blogger talk about allowing women. Did you not hear that?
Yeah, he's quoting the right because of our situation, our culture, what is it right now on the That's why he used that word.
She's on the floor, please.
Okay. All right, Mr. Loud.
Maybe I should retract that line.
No, because it was honest. So you can't retract. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
The reason I'm
you
saying,
don't like
the reason I
you
want
don't
to
like
make
it
that
now because I've embarrassed you.
No. The reason I want to make my second point on that is that I have worked in the media house where, from the top of the hierarchy to the battle, from supervisors, managing news editors, producers, director of news, online producers and all that are women. I was never intimidated. We worked in a free space. I never was unhappy. A colleague female of mine was made my line supervisor, or at a point I became a producer, so I should be powerful. Or I never felt that. And even on campus, my female friends can tell.
Oh, yes.
I push them a lot. You can do this. Let's go. Let's do this. It doesn't mean that if I am giving, I don't use the word giving. It doesn't mean that if I'm in a position to support a woman or encourage a woman to do something or do whatever she wants to do, then I am superior to her or I'm better than her. No. My challenge is the channels of communication. If the channels of communication or the strategies are not right, you will never get the idea.
You said this before very articulately. We're there. Yes, thank you. And all the way to the back. You might have to come up to the middle there because you're all the way in the back. Thank you.
He's talking about the channels and strategies. The channels will not change today, neither will they change tomorrow, because we grew up in a society, in this African society, Ghanaian society, where people are made to respect men more than women. And this job is for a woman, this job is for a man. We understand that, but with yours, right now we are all rising together. But it is not the job of your classmate to understand that you are a woman or he should treat you as such. Right now, it's a broader problem with the society because we've been trained as such. Unless we change our perception about it, we'll always get the wrong impression about feminism. Feminism is not about rocking shoulders or trying to show the guy that I know. It is about you. This is my fellow woman. That is all.
Quiet. She's talking. Quiet.
Because there's an example like a man and his wife went to the restaurant and then the waiter went like, "You're welcome, sir." How about the woman?
Exactly.
What if the woman is the one going to foot the bill?
Exactly.
So it is about the society.
No, you're exactly right.
Until the mentality and the perception
the mindset. Yep. Yep.
So we would always get talking about feminism all the time.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So any other thoughts? Is everybody exhausted? Anybody who hasn't said something? You haven't said anything, my friend. I'm going to call you back. I'm trying to go get people. You've been sitting here paying attention. I'm going to get you too. What's your thought about this discussion? And be honest. I won't tell you to sit down because you're already sitting. So go ahead. Don't stand up.
Well, sometimes I don't understand why, in terms of feminism, people are thinking about like what you were saying. It's supposed to be about you. Most of the time, I tell my friends that we men, we are not worrying ourselves.
Speak a little louder, sweetie. We don't have a mic.
So you should shout. Because it's a man, you should shout.
No, I had a lady.
Just say that and we can't hear you say it. That's all.
I'll tell the rest of myself. All right.
lady friends that I don't understand. We are not really thinking.
Well, at least face back there. At least face them. Thank you.
We guys normally we don't really think about ladies like trying to be like ladies, but most of the girls that I come across, they'll be like, why is that two men want to do this and we women cannot do this? We are not even thinking about you, whether you people can do it or you cannot do it. We are thinking about something else. But I think that you guys are busy thinking about us and saying, what a man can do, I can do better than a man. And I think it shouldn't be that way. So mostly, that's what I tell them.
Okay.
So that's my opinion.
Okay.
And that's what I think.
And thank you. Thank you. All right, so my friend, be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man now.
I'm very surprised that this thing is coming from the U.S. Embassy. I got the opportunity to work with them close to a decade.
Okay.
You see, when we find where the honey is, the woman will quickly run and come that we are equal. But where the salt is, why am I saying this? When you go to their security department, no woman is allowed to work at night. Are we the men?
Where?
Where did you know?
Where?
U.S. Embassy.
Which department?
Security.
No, which security? What?
We have the private security and we have the national security.
Local guards.
They are there.
You work
I wasn't there. I was with the national security, the police outside the embassy.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm saying that.
As a police officer.
Yes, please.
So you are not under the rules of the embassy, right?
No, I'm talking
because
about
the police are not under the rules of the
But I'm saying something about private security.
Private.
Because we are working with them.
Okay.
Working in hand with them.
Okay.
You see, we are with them.
Yes.
And I never saw any woman or lady performing any night duty. But the men were pushed there.
Come on, man.
Are we not equal?
No, that is
wait. Time out. Wait. I had 3 sets of guards in my house. All the time, 99% of them are men.
But I'm talking of the night duties.
The guys are
no women.
The guys are not under the embassy.
Night duties.
They are all
men.
They are not under the embassy. The embassy doesn't. So the embassy is like company. Let me tell you an example.
Okay.
It's a Ghanaian company and they bring their own rules. They are not under the supervision of the embassy.
And it's all
if you
men.
have really been at the police unit and are you under the embassy rules? No. The only thing that the embassy will tell
Maybe you don't know. We are.
No,
we are. Then I'll prove to you.
You are
but still, wait a minute.
You are always under the
You chose the worst example. You went to an example of service that's all male to try to show somehow the men are being discriminated.
You see where my hands are?
My friend, read that book tonight.
The local guards and then the police force, they are contractors. And the embassy doesn't give them rules.
They give them rules. Maybe you don't know. You're not privy to that.
I don't know.
Yes.
What you are saying is very true.
You can't come there and bring your own rules.
No.
But under the rules of the embassy.
No. The local guards.
Okay, time out.
I'm telling you.
He didn't finish. He wants to
Okay, let me finish.
All right, what's the rest of your point?
Finish your point. Because it's not true.
What's the rest of your point?
Oh, okay.
Who pays you? Is it the embassy who pays you?
In terms of salary is being paid by Canada. But the embassy gives us something like ration.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand. Ration. And we don't come there with our laws. We come and work under the US. Oh no. I almost ended. I'm saying that the men are pushed for 90.
No, they're not.
And as I'm talking to you,
How can the men be pushed when 99% of the employees are men?
Now, what they have found out, if what Anderson is saying here is a lie. I worked there for close to 10 years.
How many women
How many
women were in the security force? How many women?
I don't know the number, but we have women there.
How many?
I don't know the number of the men, and I know the number of the women. But I'm saying that we're having women. We're having men.
One, the local guards are not under the supervision. We work with the local guards.
Stop encouraging this, because you know that most of the guards at the embassy and at our homes are men.
Yes.
Overwhelmingly.
Yes.
So there's so few women, and yet you're going to make this argument. I live in a house in Embassy Compound. I visit my friend. All I have is men guards. I have never had a woman guard since October of 2017. So now I'm going to tell you to sit down and start reading that book.
When you go to the embassy site, when they post a job, they say equal opportunity.
Yes, I know.
What you are talking about, I don't know about where you are coming from, but the girls. Thank you.